Did you tell them to put a pot on the stove and heat it up?
Hey dude, I've done that before. I remember that as a kid.
So have I when I was camping.
I don't know why that happened to the house, but...
Does Kevin come back tomorrow or what?
Yeah, they come back sometime today. They fly in either early morning or something like that, but I'm sure they'll be beat. They may not come in until tomorrow. Okay, today we're going to go over our safety meeting. I put a safety sheet there. It's actually in front of Jesse, so if you guys could sign that, please, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to go over the 5 biggest safety threats to HVAC contractors. I try to switch it up a little bit, and I go between HVAC to plumbing, back and forth, back and forth. I am going to, as I talked last safety meeting last week regarding trenching, I will be getting, I'm trying to get the guy out here to do the training for the competent person. And once that happens, I'll let you guys know. But like I said, that's a full day course, so they may be able to do a course in 6 hours if the guy knows what he's doing. I just don't know how. I know that the guy that used to do ours was like between 6 and 8 hours. So, but we may end up having to have 2 of those and we'll split everybody up and before we get to the real business on the time. Okay, so for those in the HVAC industry, career potential is huge, but every building and home in the country has a heating and cooling unit of some sort, and they will need to be serviced, eventually meaning there's always demand for the services of HVAC techs. With that in mind, the industry does pose potential risks, and contractors are at the heart of those risks. Here are the top 5. So the first one is fatigue-related mistakes that put everyone at risk. HVAC contractors are notoriously overworked. This summer, I'm sure you guys will be overworked, or you'll think you are, at least. Sometimes clocking in over 60 hours in a very physically demanding field. Exhaustion is the logical conclusion. When a contractor is tired, he's going to make mistakes. Those mistakes could put customers, not to mention the contractor himself, in danger. Failure to properly connect wiring, for an example, or allowing a leak that would let carbon monoxide into the home is unacceptable, yet entirely possible when a contractor is fatigued. Not only that, but if a tech is driving from one job to the next and falls asleep at the wheel, everyone on the road is at risk. Avoiding fatigue-related errors and accidents is simple. HVAC contractors must have normal work schedules and turn down orders when they need to rest. Companies that employ HVAC technicians need to schedule their team members in a reasonable manner. So I'll tell you right now that obviously that's my goal. I'm not going to try to overwork anybody. But the other part of this, the caveat to this is, and we mentioned this, and Kevin and I mentioned it several weeks ago, you have to be organized. You have to make sure you have all your stuff ahead of time so you're not making those extra trips to the parts stores. Okay? If you're organized and you set up your day well, you'll be able to get in and get out and be done. You know, I was really happy that the other day we got done with that, you know, $12,000, which ended up being $11,400 job. You know, even though we had a few little hiccups in there, it'd been better. The more we plan, the smoother things normally go. Okay? So if you're a lead on a job, it doesn't matter if it's plumbing or HVAC, you need to make sure that you're planning those jobs out, making sure you have all your parts, make sure you have everything you need, tarps, everything. Plan ahead of time, get in the morning, spend that extra half an hour or whatever planning your job, making sure you have the parts, everything you need, so that when you get in, get out, go home, get rest, because you know tomorrow morning we're going to start all over again. Right? Okay. Okay. Electrocution threats come from wiring and equipment. So working with HVAC equipment means working with electricity and wiring, which puts the contractor at risk for electrocution. Electrocution can cause burns, internal injuries, or even death. This also happens instantaneously with no warning. So the contractor needs to understand that the way the job creates the risk in order to avoid it. Understand the way the job creates the risk. Okay. So to limit electrocution danger, contractors need to be vigilant about turning off the power at the circuit box to the area of the building where they will be working. Also, contractors need to test wires before touching them to determine if they're still live, because live wires are not always visible to the naked eye. You know, and I'll tell you, this is at my house. Just last week. So my dishwasher went out a couple weeks ago. All of a sudden, we started smelling a burning sound, and smoke was coming out of the door of my dishwasher. Cool. So bottom line is, I have a home warranty, so we called them up. You know, they take a couple days to get out, and they finally get out. They pull out the box, like where the controller is, and it's just fried. Wires are fried, so they said, oh, we got to replace it. So guess what? The guy goes and says, goes to turn off the breaker, and it's marked dishwasher. Wasn't the dishwasher.
No. Right.
Whoever marked it was one off.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy almost got electrocuted.
Mm-hmm.
Went off all the way down the line.
Yep.
So
That's why I play with my wiggy in your wires.
You guys got to test your
It
wires.
comes out that way.
Don't assume anything.
Like just the one, all of them are off.
yeah.
Don't assume anything, guys.
And Ryan can speak from experience. I mean,
The
240
power of
doesn't
the
hurt
wiggy.
that bad.
110's okay. You get to 240, you're done, man. Okay,
Power
so
of the wiggy.
exposure to
No touchy.
exposure to toxic asbestos is possible. So obviously, according to the EPA, asbestos is a mineral fiber found in rock and soil that is heat resistant. This heat resistance makes it popular for insulation and other fire retardant materials. It can be found in vinyl floor tiles, shingles, texture paint, insulation products that contain vermiculite. Because HVAC contractors are always not only working with ductwork, working up in the attics and things like that, there's a lot of areas that this is possible to have it there. So it's important that you wear your masks, wear your protective equipment when you're up there, put your suits on. We don't want someone getting lung disease, mesothelioma, say that 3 times fast, lung cancer, all kinds of things that can happen because of being exposed to it. Just like we talked about for plumbers, opening only small sections of walls and making sure you cordon yourself off if there's any doubt. What's the year that you should be looking at? Anything prior to what year?
No,
What?
68.
No, it's in the 80s.
Oh, isn't it? 80,
81.
81.
Anything before that. Falling from heights is also a risk, obviously, so make sure that you,
Yes, it is.
when you're working with ductwork, we don't want someone falling through the ceiling, Oscar.
I think he was just trying to go home early.
Yeah. I'm going to pause this for a second, guys.